What's up, Spurs Alley? It's your boy Chris. I'm back with another video. Preseason's just around the corner here in October, and so it's time to start gearing up for the season and making more of these videos for you. Today, we're going to have way too early Spurs season awards, but a good friend of mine is going to join me. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get it started.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go.
Thanks for joining me on Spurs Alley. We're here with my friend Anthony, who's going to help us out in going on with what's going on with the Spurs today. So, Anthony, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Christian. I'm ready to rock and roll about some San Antonio Spurs.
Hey, glad to hear it, man. So, we got some good things going on here in the first segment. We're gonna talk a little bit about way too early Spurs awards. So, pretty much our predictions of what we think is gonna happen as far as some awards, just for the Spurs, just Team Spurs, no one else. First, we're gonna go over our most improved player. So, Anthony, I'm gonna let you go first. Who do you think is gonna be our most improved player for this next year?
Well, in my opinion, I believe that Devin Vassell is going to be my pick for the most improved player, or the MVP of the team. I think he comes back from injury. I think he's going to have a good year this year. As long as he stays healthy, I think his points go up. I think he matures as a player. With the addition of Wimby, I still feel like he's not just gonna. It's gonna take him a few years to assume that role, and somebody's got to be in that role, the leader of the team. And I'm hoping that it's gonna be Devin Vassell.
You think he's ready to take that next step? Maybe like all-star caliber?
Yeah, I mean he's coming into a few years in now. He's coming off of an injury. It happens that almost every player is gonna go through that. It gives you time to reflect on your game, on what you want to be as a player. And I think him coming back, I think it's gonna be his time to emerge, hopefully as a leader of this team.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go a little bit more down the bench here. I think Malachi Branham is ready to really step up his game. I mean, we know he's 3 level scorer. He can take it to the hole. Has got nice mid range. His 3-point shot, I think, is just getting better, and I think he just feels more comfortable in that offense. He's getting better into the flow. He's actually in the summer games. He showed out that he can actually has a little bit of a handles with his game. So I'm actually really excited to see how he's gonna develop, and I think he's gonna take that big step that we're gonna really rely upon him as far as maybe off the bench, spot starter at times with injuries. I really think he's gonna be that improvement that we're looking for from one of our first round picks that we had that year. What do you think?
Yeah. I think Malachi is going to be a good player. He's still learning. I still feel like he's a few years back, from being the MVP of the team. But we'll see what happens. He's definitely playing well, uh, like you said, in the summer league. So we'll see what if that transitions over, into the NBA.
True. It's not you don't always get that transition from summer league play to the regular season. So the the
I mean, it,
preseason.
it is a good gauge. The summer league has been great for a lot of players.
Mhm.
It's definitely shown that its usefulness. But it's definitely a different league compared to the NBA.
And then with preseason coming up, it also can give us a really good gauge if maybe it wasn't a fluke, right? So we'll see with that preseason play with him. Now, next one is six man of the year for the Spurs. Who do you think is going to be our sixth man of the year?
You know, it's tough to gauge because a lot of people there's so many rumors going around. People talking about Sohan might be coming off of the bench, and if that's the case, it's an automatic pick that it's going to be Jeremy Sohan. But I think he makes the starting roster. Um, so my guy coming up. I mean, That's gonna be a tough one for me. Who do you have? Who's your pick? And then I'll do my pick after yours.
I think with the way the lineups are going to go most times, with Zach Collins really being that center position, solidifying that center position, I think it's going to be where Keldon Johnson's going to be bumped to the bench. And if KJ's
Really?
coming off the bench, I mean, he's kind of that odd man out. Think about it. He's not
Well, that's
really.
why there's so many rumors because somebody is going to the bench. You know,
You're right. You're
there,
right.
there's only so many people that can. We need starting five.
They've
Somebody's gonna have to go to
also
the bench.
they've asked him already what he thinks about having the Ginobili role, and he's all for it. He wants to embrace it. He's definitely want to be all for the team, and whatever the team needs, he's gonna be there. So, I mean, I think that's just gonna how it's gonna work out naturally, since he has been our starter for so long. It almost seems like a foregone conclusion that he's gonna be our sixth man of the year.
So, and somebody's gonna be that sixth man on coming off of the bench, and whoever I believe whoever that person is gonna be is obviously gonna be the sixth man of the year. Because if you think about it, if it's either Keldon or Jeremy Sohan, um, either one of those players definitely has a chance to be sixth man of the year in the whole NBA, not just this team or because those all-star caliber players.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? They could be in the running for the NBA six man of the year. You're right. Either one of those guys, I think, could win it um, for the NBA if everything goes right. But definitely for the Spurs, there should be no brainers there. Next one, who do you think is going to be the 3-point champ? And when we talk
Three.
about 3-point champ, we're talking about field goal percentage, and I'm just not just 10 shots, in a year. We're talking about, over
So
50
three-point
three-point
field goal
attempts.
percentage. Who's gonna have the best
Yeah,
three-point field goal percentage at the end of the year?
with
I
over
mean,
50 shots.
I gotta go with McBuckets.
Do you think he's going to
I
be around the whole season, though?
I mean that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, if he gets traded, I mean he's definitely trade bait. I mean it's not very you know expensive trade bait, but there's a good chance that he might not play the whole year. So if we're gonna go with a guy that for sure is gonna play the whole year, there's the like, I think there's two candidates that I would like. There's a guy that I wish would be the 3-point guy, and that's gonna be Trey Jones. We really need that kid to emerge in his 3-point shot to kind of stretch his game a little bit. It'll bring the players out closer to him so that he can penetrate. It's really one of the only things he needs to learn in his game to really emerge one of the top point guards in the league. So that's who I wish would be our number one 3-point shooter at the end of the year. But more than likely, I guess I'm gonna have to go with Devin Vassell. Uh,
Vassell. Okay.
Back in 2020, I know he shot like 47, 46%. So I know he can get up there in percentage wise. If he can maintain that, even he doesn't even have to get better. If he stays at 47%, then he's definitely the guy.
I was tempted to even think about Wemby, maybe possibly leading the Spurs in 3-point field goal percentage, just because he's going to take, I think, better shots with the Spurs. Coach Pop's not going to let him just go crazy and shoot from everywhere and anywhere. So I think at the end of the day, though, I went with Vassell too. Vassell,
Yeah, yeah.
he's just getting better. His 3-point shot has always been there. It's always been there pretty much. It just keeps on getting better every year. And I think with
Yeah. Like I said, before he got injured in 2020, he shot
right,
40%, and that's a great number in itself. So there's if he comes back, and, oh, well, I'm shooting 53% now. Like, oh my God, like, come on, like
I mean and it's unblockable. You ever when he shoots that and
he's
and,
got a
and
long a
his
long body that gives him that elevation to
and that release point is way above his head. It's crazy and it goes in. So
yeah.
yeah, I think and it's pretty accurate. So I think it's going to be Vassell, unless there's some surprise out there that we don't know about. Maybe McBuckets does stay the whole year. He could possibly take it. or maybe there's another player out there that we don't know about. Maybe Malachi. Also Malachi could also
That
shoot the three.
yeah, yeah. I think Malachi shot 30% last year from the 3-point line.
Oh yeah, so he needs to get way better, but we know we can shoot. And for the next one, defensive player of the year. Who's going to be the Spurs defensive player of the year?
I mean, that's easy for me. For me, it's Jeremy Sohan. Coming into his next year, we already know the tangibles that he has defensively. He's got everything you pretty much need as a a defensive player. Last year we saw in a lot of sets, a lot of defensive sets that they were putting in. Jeremy Sohan was all over the court, guarding everybody. It didn't matter if you were a point guard. It didn't matter if you were a center. It didn't matter who you were. If you were the best player on the other team, Jeremy Sohan is on you. And that was when he was young, his rookie year. So that is a lot of experience, guarding LeBrons and these all these different types of players.
He
Uh,
looks fearless out there, right? Like he's not scared to take on the challenge
and
from
he
any
took
other
on the
big player.
challenge. He didn't back down from not one player last year, and that's a lot of character that shows as far as basketball knowledge. And so we're definitely gonna see a good Sohan next year coming into next year.
I think Sohan's a really good pick. Um, and I mean, perimeter wise, he can guard really 1 through 4, pretty much. And he gets under people's skin also. So he plays that mind game, I mean, which is
Yeah.
sometimes really important in the NBA, you
Oh
know.
yeah. As far as being like a great defensive player, you have to be a pest. You don't have to be the nicest guy in the world to be a great defensive player. People are not going to like you.
Kind of like
Um,
Draymond Green a little bit, right?
yeah, like Draymond, Dennis Rodman,
Of course, yeah.
who I know Jeremy Sohan is a fan of. So I mean, there's a lot of I mean, there's all kinds of great defensive players out there that were unliked. Um,
Yeah. Bruce Bowen, of course, our very own Bruce
one
Bowen.
of the he was yeah.
He was the big pest too. Now, I'm thinking it's gonna be our phenom, Wemby. Wemby's gonna
Here it
anchor the
is.
defense. He's gonna be there not only blocking shots, but deterring shots, getting in the way. He's gonna be getting steals, getting in passing lanes. I think Wemby's length is just so crazy that it's just gonna be where no one's gonna be able to really score on him unless they body him up. That's
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
thing I'm kind of nervous about, where they'll get him down low, but as far as
yeah.
help
I mean,
defender,
we've already seen him in some of these summer league games, the games that they played way back or whatever, where we've seen him make some blocks and the length that he's able to extend. And we've also seen him in the French league as well. I mean, we don't have the stats. Our stat person is asleep right now. But I'm
yeah, we
pretty
gotta get that.
sure
We'll
that
get our
he had.
stat guy in here. Yeah,
Uh, but he's I don't know the block number, but it wasn't a low number.
he
He
was
had
at, I think,
a
at
lot
four
of
point
blocks.
one or something like that.
It was a lot. It was a lot of blocks,
That's
and
crazy.
I just don't know it right off the top.
Well, apart from him not really having the entire package as far as guarding those big guys, everything else is there for him. And I think, I mean, it's just scary having Sohan and Wemby together. Like everyone's been talking about, that defensive duo right there. It's going to be them
Yeah,
two. It's going to be scary,
the
So
return of the Twin Towers type of talk. Well, we still got
a little
a
bit,
long way to
kind
go.
of. I
Yeah,
mean, because I wouldn't really consider Sohan a tower.
no, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't either.
Maybe more
I think they
like,
got a long way to go. We're gonna see what kind of players they emerge into. We've
more
already
how
gotten
they
a little
play
bit of
together.
taste. We know Sohan's ready to play. And we're yet to see what's gonna happen with Wimby.
Right? We talk about their offense so much. That'll be a real interesting uh development on the defensive side, how those two guys mesh together and how we lock teams down with those two guys on the
It's
floors.
just too much talent. We have a lot of guys.
Who's a
Um,
dark horse there though too? Dark horse, I think, could be maybe even like Trey Jones.
yeah,
Trey Jones is really, really good on the perimeter, guarding from one end of the floor to the other. He sticks on you like white on rice. I mean, he can be kind of a dark horse there. Maybe not as impactful as Wemby or Soham, but I think he's also gonna
Yeah,
get
definitely
some
a dark
highlights.
horse. Definitely a dark horse, but definitely on the radar.
Yeah, for sure. Now the very last, and I think most important award. I think the obvious one is who's gonna be the Spurs season MVP.
Hmm.
You want to take that one first?
Oh, that's a good one. This year, we're just talking about this coming year. I'm gonna go with Devin Vassell. Like I said earlier, I think this guy coming back from injury, I think he's gonna emerge into a mature player than he has been. I think he's gonna come back with a little bit more focus, patience. He's been able to when you're in that Spurs environment and you're injured, they're still working, they're still trying to improve you, get you better. And I feel like guys come back from injury on the Spurs a little bit differently than other teams.
You
A-
think he has maybe a little bit of a chip on his shoulder
yeah,
because we drafted him instead of Halliburton, and Halliburton went to the Olympics. Halliburton's been considered, a really a steal. What do you think?
yeah, I do think he does have a small. I don't think it's a very big chip on his shoulder, but I think he does have a small chip on his shoulder because when you're in a place that you enjoy and you're playing ball with people that you like, then you let the universe kind of like just kind of like settle in, and then and just be happy with your situation. And I feel like he's in a happy place. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm not the man or whatever, but I feel like he's in a good place. I feel like he's going to have a good season. And I think he's going to be the best player on our team next year.
Wow. Well, my MVP is our phenom. I'm all in with this guy. I mean, I'm all in. I think he is a generational
Year
talent,
one, year one.
and we're gonna get into that here in a little bit more. But I think he's really gonna be that difference maker, where he's gonna basically just improve the team so much. He's gonna be our MVP, and that's Wemby. Wembyama's gonna make us a team from 22 wins, possibly up to 50. I know that's a crazy stretch, and the more I think about it, I think the crazier that sounds. But hey, I'm gonna stick with my guns. I mean, he's that good. He's that much of a generational talent. He's like a David. He's like a Timmy. So he impacts both sides of the floor, and he has a really good head on his shoulders. I think that's something that's a little bit, uh, you know, underrated with players. How well they handle themselves and how committed they are. You'll see a lot of guys with a lot of really good talent not do anything because they're not committed. They don't really commit themselves to working and doing those extra little things. And I think Wemby's been doing that since before he became a
Yeah,
Spur. So,
definitely a professional.
I just think with everything, with that head on his shoulder, a good head on his shoulders, the talent, the immeasurables, the measurables, the 7'4", 7'3". He's gonna be just so fun to watch, and he's gonna be our MVP.
There you have it. That was the Spurs Alley Way Too Early Spurs Season Awards. Appreciate you joining me on this one. Remember, we're going to keep coming out with more videos, so if you like this one, make sure you like it. And if you want more of this content, subscribe because the Spurs season is about to start. Thanks again for my friend Anthony joining me, and I'll make sure to catch you on the next one.
I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna